If you're wondering what's the difference between Miss Universe and Miss World, you came to the right place. My name is Dani Walker. Welcome. I'm a pageant coach who helps contestants all around the world to achieve their dreams through pageantry, and I'm a former Miss Montana USA. So if you're interested in pageant related content, please consider subscribing and hitting that notifications bell. And if you're preparing for a competition, then check out my free pageant prep course. I created it just for you, and it's linked in the description below. Any pageant contestant who's competed for the universe or the world systems will know that there are many differences between the organizations. But for the sake of making things simple, we're gonna go over the main differences, and if you have anything to add, you can always leave that in the comments below. First, let's talk about who qualifies to compete in these organizations. For the Miss Universe organization, you must be between the ages of 18 and under 28 by the date set out by the state, national, or international competition. I say under 28 because I was one of the few contestants that competed at Miss USA at the age of 28. I was able to do so because I met the age requirements of my state and national competition. If you're ever confused about age eligibility, it's best to reach out to the pageant system directly. At Miss World, there is a similar age range between 17 and 27. Both organizations allow contestants who are natural-born women as well as transgender contestants to compete in the organization. There are also some rules regarding eligibility depending on your citizenship for both of the competitions. Just like in many other pageant organizations, you'll have to be able to prove your residency. One of the notable differences about Miss Universe versus Miss World is that the Miss Universe organization now allows contestants who are married, who have been married, who are mothers, or who have been pregnant to compete. Now let's talk about the areas of competition. At Miss Universe, it's pretty straightforward. At all of your levels, meaning at your regionals, state, national, or international competition, contestants will participate in interview, swimsuit, evening gown, and onstage question. The Miss World organization is not as cut and dry when it comes to competitions, and actually, the competitions can change from year to year. For the sake of not overcomplicating things, let's talk about the competitions at the international level for Miss World. All of the contestants compete in the interview round, and of course there is evening gown, but they do not have a swimsuit competition. And they have fast track competitions. Most recently, the fast track competitions have included Beauty with a Purpose, Head to Head, Talent, Top Model, Miss World Sports, and Miss World Multimedia, which was added in 2012, and this is not calculated by online fan votes or through social media. The winner of this is selected through the Mobstar app. The winners of these fast track events then get a semi-finalist place during the pageant's finale. It's also important to mention, how do contestants get to the Miss Universe or the Miss World stage? Well, there are different paths to the crown. Your journey to Miss Universe can start at the state level, but it doesn't have to. In some cases, contestants will win a city or a local title. They will move on to their state or regional competition. That qualifies them for the national competition. And if they then win that, then they can compete at Miss Universe. Not all countries are the same though. Some countries only hold national pageants, so contestants are accepted directly into the national pageant, and then whoever wins that will go on to represent that country at Miss Universe. A similar process happens for Miss World. You might win a local title, a state or a regional title, a national title, and then you would move on to that international competition. Now, what's interesting about the Miss World pageant is that some national organizations hold multiple franchises, meaning that they have permission to host their country's pageant for the Miss Universe organization as well as for the Miss World organization. A great example of this would be the Miss France competition. They host a Miss France title. There is a Miss France that is crowned, and then there is a first runner-up. And every year it looks different for the winner and the first runner-up. In some years, the winner will compete at Miss Universe and at Miss World. In other years, the winner of Miss France might compete at Miss World and the first runner-up competes at Miss Universe, or vice versa. And during unprecedented times, sometimes title holders are even appointed within these pageant systems. For example, during the pandemic, not every national organization was able to hold an in-person national pageant. So instead, they decided to appoint title holders, meaning that there is no in-person event, that the title holder is instead chosen by the organization itself. And very commonly, the contestants that are chosen or appointed as national title holders have competed within the system before, or maybe they were last year's first runner-up, and then they get sent on to that international level. One way that both competitions are similar is that they like to encourage contestants to proactively make positive changes within the world around them. The Miss Universe organization has 3 charitable initiatives, meaning that their title holders partner, work with, and become brand ambassadors for Smile Train, Best Buddies, and God's Love We Deliver. The Miss World organization is a little bit different because their motto, Beauty with a Purpose, is also their nonprofit organization. Through this nonprofit organization, the contestants at Miss World will fundraise for this cause, and these funds go towards humanitarian projects all around the world. The Miss Universe organization has a motto as well, which is beautifully confident. In the past, this was confidently beautiful, and under new leadership, they also are sharing about the One Universe theme. Last, we'll talk about the prize packages for Miss Universe and Miss World. Miss Universe receives a prize package that is valued at $5 million. Most notably, she receives a 6-figure salary, an apartment in New York City for the year, and her travel expenses for her appearances around the world are covered. The Miss World winner receives a cash prize for an undisclosed amount, and she also will travel the world for 1 year with all of her expenses paid. As you can see, there's a lot of minute differences between these organizations, and there's also a lot that's very similar between the two. I hope that this episode cleared up some of your questions about the Miss Universe versus the Miss World organizations. And if you have any other comments or questions about the 2 pageants, please leave those in the comments below. If you enjoyed this episode, I hope that you chose to subscribe so that you can come back for lots of new episodes. And don't forget to check out these other recent ones linked right up here in the corner. I think you'll enjoy those too. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.